Welcome to PLZ Soccer Show. I'm Peter Martin. Barry Ferguson is alongside me. There's only one show in town today. It happens to be at Ibrox at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Stephen Gerrard checked in as the new Rangers manager on a 4-year deal. Barry, can you get any more excited about this appointment?
Well, you took the words out of my mouth. I think it's an exciting time for Rangers. Last week when it got mentioned, I was surprised, but as Stephen Gerrard mentioned on Tuesday night, he had held initial talks, and then today he's obviously signed a 4-year contract. So I think he's the sort of character and the sort of leader that Rangers are needing, somebody that's going to come in hopefully and change quite a bit, because I think quite a bit's needed changing, and I don't think either he would have took the job if he wasn't going to get a bit of financial backing for the sort of to go into the transfer market. So I think a lot of Rangers fans should be excited with this appointment.
Yeah, the one key thing that Stephen Gerrard was talking about in the press conference, basically people were asking him about the challenge and the pressure that comes with the job, and he said, bring it on.
I know, a great reply. Right away, I thought to myself, he knows about pressures. Listen, he's going to be under pressure when it comes to Rangers when he starts in 4 or 5 weeks. But he's a man, as he mentioned, he had pressure for he left school, being at a massive club in Liverpool, being the next best thing coming through the system, and he's went on and captained them and won many trophies and led his country as well many times. So he's a guy that's going to handle all that.
Yeah, one thing in the press conference that he didn't want to be drawn on was the discussions he had with Dave King over budget and what his targets were. Quite simply, that will become all too apparent when you start to see the calibre of player that he's signing. The big pressure for me now, Stephen Gerrard knows what he's facing, which is quite simply try and stop Celtic winning 10 in a row. Dave King must be able to back him. He must have given him assurances.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. Listen, Stephen Gerrard for me is an intelligent guy. What a footballer he was, but if you listen to him when he's been on TV, you listen to his press conference, for me, he came out it really well. And as I said, I don't think he would take that job if he wasn't guaranteed funds to go and strengthen that team. Because as we all know, Celtic are well in front of Rangers at this moment in time. And I do think Celtic will go and strengthen in the summer as well. So it's important that Dave King and the board members find the funds to help Stephen Gerrard build Rangers into competing again.
Yeah, Alan Devine says May the 4th is National Stephen Gerrard Day, and over and above that, quite a lot of people saying very excited, bring it on. Lots of Rangers fans really getting excited about his appointment. Listen, for the whole of Scottish football, I think it's fantastic that he's coming here. We've all on this programme aired our views on the inexperience, the need for money, but there's things that really will stimulate Rangers. One, of course, is the fact that he's here. The shirts will go through the roof. I mean, the sales, there's a new deal coming anyway for a new shirt. You've got, hopefully, investment that's been promised to him that he'll know about. Over and above that, season tickets will be going through the roof. The Rangers fans will all be buying into this. Commercially for Scotland, it might be that, who knows, his appearance here might benefit us in the long run with the TV deal. Commercial activities might increase because of the interest of him everywhere.
First and foremost, I think it's great that he's up here with Rangers, obviously, because Rangers means quite a lot to myself. But what I do think is, for Scottish football, what a capture it is. It's going to put us back on the map, and I think it's only going to strengthen other teams. I think like Celtic will look at it with Stephen Gerrard coming up here. He's going to get a right few quid to go and spend. I think Celtic will go and strengthen in the summer. I think teams like Hearts, Hibs, Kilmarnock will go and look to back their managers now. So it's exciting times for me in Scottish football. But at this moment in time, it's exciting times for Rangers, because it's been a difficult 2 years for the supporters of the club. But one thing about the supporters, they've stood by them. They've went and still bought the season books, and I'm sure they can't wait to the start of the season, the first pre-season game at home.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see the calibre of player he's going to buy. We've talked about how much money he needs to try and put a challenge in. But if he gets to spend, let's just say, an initial fee of somewhere between 15 and 20 million, that's way, way above any other team. Yep. So you're really narrowing it down to, if he can deliver a team that's capable of beating the other 11 sides or the other 10 sides, he really has to look at the 4 games against Celtic. I'm oversimplifying it because Celtic are still to make the challenge, but 15-20 million would give you a right good kick at it.
Yep, I mean, there's no certainties in football. Look, I think they'll beat the other teams, but listen, it boils down to one thing: it's the 4 games, as you said, against Celtic. Because Celtic, especially the last 2 games, have ran over the top of Rangers. So he'll know himself, as I said, he's no daft. He'll know he'll be judged on the Celtic games. And I think 15-20 million will be enough to strengthen Rangers. It's a lot of money, but I think they'll look at Steven Gerrard as the contacts he'll have down at Liverpool and throughout the full English football. So that's one of the big plus points with bringing him in.
Yeah, and I think from that point of view, the calibre of player, what's he going to do? What would you do? And of course, the first thing is you phone your mates, you get helped out. You go to Liverpool, can I get some of the real starlets, get them on loan? Can I then call in some of maybe my more experienced mates that might be able to do me a turn, who are in the last couple of years of their contracts or the last, coming out of contract, and say, come up here, show your experience, help the younger players as well.
Yep, that's what I mentioned. You look at Liverpool doing fantastically well just now, and if you look at that bench and guys that are not even getting on that bench, there's guys that could come up here and produce the goods, no problem at all. And you look at former managers, Benitez at Newcastle, there'll be players there maybe coming out of contract or maybe not in the first team picture. So that's one of the big plus points, having a name like Steven Gerrard, because he'll be able to attract players. And as you said, it'll not come down to a lot of players are looking for big contracts, but if Steven Gerrard's calling you and saying, listen, I want you to come up to Rangers, they want to come up. For the simple fact is, it's Steven Gerrard, the manager, and also Rangers. Yeah. It's a massive club.
It's going to be unbelievable. Can you imagine the summer now? There's a real buzz just from him walking in the door now. Can you imagine what it's like when you get to the summer and everybody, I think it's thrown down the gauntlet to other teams. I mean, everybody knows Celtic's got a massive kitty and they'll obviously respond. But for the other clubs as well, they'll be looking at this and thinking, the interest is incredible. Maybe we've got to respond, although I would offer a note of caution. Hope no club starts to go silly with it, you know. You've got to keep your balance.
I mentioned that I'm looking at a Hibernian team that's been great this season, and there's talk about McGinn and Dylan McGeoch moving on. I'm sure the board will be looking, well, if other teams are going to strengthen, we're going to try our utmost to try and keep our best players. Because I think some of the games this year have been really exciting, Peter. I've enjoyed some of the football that I've watched on the TV, and I've been to some great games as well. So it's great. It's great that everybody's talking about it, as you says. But the most important thing is that I think he'll watch the next 3 games with interest to see if there's players there that can make it into his squad next year. So these 3 games, if I'm a Rangers player sitting today watching that, I'm going out tomorrow, and listen, they should be doing it anyway. It should be a given. It should be going out and giving their all, but hopefully it'll kick a few of them up the backside. Yeah,
Neil, I'm going to read out some of the messages we get on Facebook Live, Twitter and also YouTube Live. Neil says Hibs will be above them and Aberdeen. Also, remember that as well, it is a football channel. We talk about football. If you're going to be abusive, I'm just going to blank you and then eventually we'll block you. So if you really want to troll elsewhere and be rude, be my guest, go somewhere else. We're going to talk about the football end of it. And Mark, who, is writing his opinion, he says 15 to 20 million. I'll paraphrase what he says, stay off the laughing gas. It's probably a better way to look at it. But anyway, 15 to 20 million. 15 to 20 million will, for me, blow a hole out of the rest of the budgets. Well, it's maybe going to take a considerable amount more. You've obviously said to me this week, it'll take a lot more to try and bridge the gap with Celtic, but,
Yeah, is he getting it that Rangers don't have 15 or 20 million pounds?
Who knows?
I bet my bottom dollar that Steven Gerrard wouldn't have signed a 4-year contract if he wasn't guaranteed.
He's guaranteed some money. I'm curious. I think the pressure now is right on Dave King and that board. The other great thing about it, which these are the facts, Barry, the people who'll bail Rangers out and start to alleviate some of the financial pain are always the Rangers fans. They've done it for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I've always said that. no matter how Rangers have done on the pitch, whether it be they've done okay or really poorly, they've always went and bought their season books. So I had no doubt in my mind that they would have sold their season books out. I'm just interested. It's big pressure now on Dave King and the board. They've got to go and produce and open that chequebook and let Steven Gerrard go and buy the players that he thinks it can take Rangers forward.
Yep, it'll be interesting times. You can give us your view at PLZ Soccer on Twitter, facebook.com/PLZ Soccer. It's up to you. It's a football channel. Make your football point on this. Good thing for Rangers, good thing for Scottish football, or is he just going to become another statistic in this Brendan Rodgers bandwagon at Celtic? Because Celtic have the title in the bag now, Barry. You know, you can't talk about one without talking about the other. Quite simply, Celtic have a huge amount of cash in the summer. Brendan Rodgers is looking and saying already that he is thinking towards strengthening, because Celtic's goal over the years has been Europe, try and get to the latter stages. So they go to Tynecastle this weekend. I just wonder what frame of mind they'll be in. They've been out partying for a couple of days.
I know, I seen they were in Tenerife. I seen a few clips on video of them. It looked like they were enjoying themselves, rightly so. Listen, they've deserved to win the league. They've been the best team in Scotland. But I do think you will see some changes at Celtic this season. I think, again, Brendan Rodgers will go in and look to strengthen and bring maybe 4 or 5 players. Certainly the defence needs strengthened. And obviously he'll be wanting to keep a few of the players. There's Tom Rogic, who's out of contract in a year's time.
Yeah.
He's one that they would be desperate to keep. So I think they'll splash a bit of cash as well in the summer.
Yeah, it's going to be great times ahead. Rangers against Kilmarnock, of course. Hearts against Celtic. What about Aberdeen Hibs? What a cracking game that's going to be over the weekend, Barry.
I think it'll be a fantastic game. Hibs unbeaten in 11. They're in great form. I've said plenty of times they're a footballing team that I enjoy watching. Neil Lennon's done a fantastic job this season, coming up for the championship and fighting for second. It's an unbelievable job he's done there. But in saying that, Derek's got Aberdeen back to winning ways after a disappointing Scottish Cup game against Motherwell. They've won their last 2 games pretty convincingly, so I think it'll be a cracker up there. This is what's great. I'm not a massive fan of the split. Yeah. But when you see games like this, and the great games that are coming up the next week, it is worth it. Yeah. And that's one of the games tomorrow that I think will be a cracker, but I see Hibs winning it. Yeah, so if Hibs win it, suddenly Aberdeen have got Rangers and Celtic to finish. Yep. How do you see this? Celtic first place, who's second, third and fourth now? I think surely the Rangers players are going to get a boost off seeing who's just been named manager. Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to be a roughie and change my opinion. I still went for Rangers to finish second and Hibs and third and Aberdeen fourth. But listen, it's a hard one to call. Yeah. Listen, Rangers weren't great, let's be honest, last week again against Celtic. Hibs in fantastic form. Aberdeen have picked up the last couple of weeks. So it's all to play for, but it's exciting. Yeah, absolutely. Partick Ross County, what a game that is tonight at Firhill. Yep. And then Hamilton against Dundee. Suddenly at the bottom end, it's cutthroat. Have you changed your mind on which two are going to be in trouble, which is getting relegated, and which team is going to be in the playoff? I still believe that Hamilton and Dundee will get out it, and I think Partick will still finish in the playoff place in Ross County. I think the game tonight, I think Partick have got to win that. I think they will go and win it. Ross County came down to Hamilton last week and were disappointing. Yeah. Hamilton deserved to beat them. I think they will go down. In saying that, I think the 2 boys that have come in have done a decent job. So fair play to them, but I think it's too late for them. Yeah. Okay, I've got to ask you the burning question. Do you have a Steven Gerrard top in your Hall of Fame room? No, I don't. I don't. I was actually going to swap him last summer at the Star Sixes. But listen, I've met him on a number of occasions, and one thing I will say about him is he's a top guy, but a proper leader. Yeah. And I think that's important, that Rangers have obviously met him and realised what type of character he is, and that's what's needed. And I hope he's allowed to go in there and take control of the full football side, and I mean not just the first team.
Yeah.
I mean everywhere.
And just to finish then, of course, he's a former Liverpool player. I'm delighted Liverpool are in the Champions League final against your tip, Real Madrid, for the Champions League. Are you going to change your mind now?
No.
Sticking with Real?
I'll still stick with Real. I was worried for Liverpool, to be honest, the other night. But listen, they deserved it. Watching them, I love watching them. It's not the best I've seen them in the last few months. But I'm glad they get through to the final, because I think that front three against Real Madrid's back four, that must be worrying. Zidane must be worried about that. So that'll be a cracking final.
Oh, absolutely magnificent. Liverpool, Real, Klopp against Zidane, Salah against Ronaldo, absolutely fantastic. Listen, just before we go, we always like to react to some of the messages coming in. Niall always watches the programme. Who do you think is going to win? Motherwell or St Johnstone tomorrow? Chris Miller, 10 years, he's saying goodbye to the Saints fans. It will be emotional. Who wins?
I think Motherwell win that game. They've got a cup final. There's places up for grabs. And I'm sure the manager, he comes across that type that will, no matter how well they've done this season, they've been in 2 cup finals. I get the feeling that they train hard every single day, so I feel Motherwell will win that game.
Okay, brilliant to have Barry alongside us here talking football. Don't forget, if you want all the latest news, PLZ Soccer app, you can download it in Google Play and in the App Store as well. You'll get all the news from across the world in football, north and south of the border as well, up to date every minute of the day, and also you get the unique video content that we hope to bring you live on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube as well. If you want the latest news on your laptop, www.plzsoccer.com. All that it means for me and Barry to say is thank you to everyone who made a contribution, a positive one at that. For the ones who are negative and abusive, this is maybe not the site for you. Keep taking the cream, and all the best elsewhere. This is the day when a lot of Rangers fans are getting excited. Steven Gerrard is the Rangers manager on a 4-year deal. What next? Can he deliver for Rangers the way he delivered as a player for Liverpool? Only time will tell. From Barry Ferguson and myself, Peter Martin, have a great football weekend.